Perfect. So is the future of telephony and what you need to know about VoIP and Elevate. Just a quick introduction. Thank you for joining us today. We're excited to kick things off. So just a bit about ourselves. So my name is Neel. I'm head of IT communications at Qlic, and today I'm joined by today I'm joined with Paul Brazier from Intermedia, who's our partner for our VoIP solution Elevate. Paul will be going into more detail about Elevate later on, and we also have Tony Story from our partner at Nyman's, who are our provider for hardware. So just a bit about ourselves. At Qlic, we're passionate about helping SMEs, charities, and not-for-profits with their IT and now telecom solutions. We have over 20 years' experience in the sector. Our story is that we started in 2002, grown into one of the UK's leading managed service providers for the charity sector. Now a team of over 40 professionals supporting more than 350 organisations across the UK. What we do, we manage and co-manage IT support, cloud migrations, Microsoft 365 and SharePoint solutions, cybersecurity services, and now offering telecom services such as VoIP, broadband and mobile connectivity. So just a bit more about VoIP. Some of you may know what it is, but just a bit for those who don't, just a bit detail. So VoIP, or voice over IP, is a modern communication technology that uses your internet connection to make and receive calls. Unlike traditional phone lines, which rely on physical copper wiring, VoIP converts your voice into digital signals, making it possible to communicate seamlessly from any location with internet access. How does it work? So when you speak, your voice is converted into small digital data packets. It is then traveled securely over the internet. And then at the other end, it is then converted back into clear audio almost instantly. The key benefits of VoIP: so flexibility, make and receive calls anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. Remote working ready, ideal for hybrid or fully remote teams. Device integration, so you can use desk phones, mobile apps, or soft phones on your laptops or desktops. Scalability, easy to add and remove users without expensive hardware changes. And it's very cost efficient, reduces the costs compared to traditional phone lines. The difference between a VoIP solution or hosted solution and an on-premise phone system. A hosted solution, there's no bulky PBX or phone system on site, no complex hardware required. All what's required is handsets or headsets, depending on what system you have. So you could just use a soft phone or a mobile app. It's perfect for hybrid and remote teams. Make and receive calls anywhere with an internet connection. Seamless experience, whether you're in an office or at home or on the move. It's centrally managed, so automatic updates and features enhancements with no downtime. Scaling up or down is quick and simple, no disruption to your team. So the difference between that and an on-premise phone system or a PBX, so all the equipment is physically located and installed and maintained on site. It requires a dedicated space, power, environmental controls, etc. High upfront costs, so significant capital is required for hardware installation, plus ongoing maintenance, which can add extra costs. It's limited for remote working, and it's quite difficult to scale as the hardware can become outdated quite quickly. Scaling up means purchasing and installing more equipment, which is time consuming and expensive. Again, why choose VoIP? So it's cost effective. VoIP significantly reduces telecom expenses by replacing expensive line rentals and offering inclusive call bundles. With user-based pricing, you only pay for what you need, making budgeting basically great. Scalability, adding new users or locations is simple and instant. There's no need for costly physical infrastructure or upgrades, making it perfect for growing teams or multi-site organizations. Unified communication. So with Elevate, actually, it brings everything together: phone calls, video conferencing and messaging into one easy-to-use platform, providing collaboration and efficiency across your business. Dig into a bit more about the PSTN switch off. Many of you may have heard that BT are switching off the copper network or the analog system in 27. It's actually 2025 December, but for January 27, it's more for vulnerable like users such as elderly care homes, etc. Those who still have a bit of time or who need a bit more time to get everything moved over to digital. Again, who's affected? Any business still relying on traditional lines such as so routers. So some connections may still be using an FTTC, which is a fiber to the cabinet, which is a copper line network, and those are the ones that are associated with the telephone number. Those will become redundant, so will need to be upgraded as soon as possible. Fax machines, if people are still using fax machines, again, those will be redundant. Alarm systems that rely on dialing out on a phone line, and of course lift emergency phones. So anyone who presses a phone, it's connected directly to a copper line, that will also be affected. So why act now? Waiting until the last minute risks delays, rushed installations and potential downtime. Starting early allows for a smooth, planned transition. The benefits, so moving to a cloud-based solution like Elevate provides flexibility, scalability and advanced features far beyond a legacy system. And as I mentioned earlier, so it has been extended for vulnerable users, just giving them extra time so everything can be migrated safely.
Okay, so my name's Paul Brazier. I'm one of the channel account managers at Intermedia, and what we do is we provide voice telephony, and we call it UCaaS and CCaaS. And in our world of telephony, there's an awful lot of acronyms. Everyone loves a good acronym. So what UCaaS and CCaaS is, though, is UC as a service, UCaaS, and that's unified communication. So whether that's a voice call or whether it's a chat, whether it's a video, that's that true collaboration piece. And CC as a service is contact center as a service. So the definition of a contact center is to route an action, whether that's a voice call or an email or a web or an SMS, but route that action to the most appropriately skilled person to answer it. And that in its essence is what contact centers do. All right. So this is what we do. A little bit of about Intermedia. So we are a global company. We have got approximately about 7,500 partners across the world, 150,000 plus businesses. And within the Intermedia team, there's 1,400 of us, of which 60% of our team are within R&D, research and development. So adding new features, programming, coding, improving, etc., etc. So we have a huge presence across the world. We have data centers all across the world. One of the key things is for UK, all of our information, all of our data, all of our servers are held within UK data centers. So though we have presence across the world with DCs across the EMEA and US and Asia Pacific, all of our UK presence is all held within UK data centers. So there's nothing that needs to go offsite. So what is it we actually do? So you're going to hear an awful lot of noise in the marketplace around AI. So artificial intelligence. What does it do? How do we use it? And how can it be a benefit? So that's the key thing. How can it be a benefit? How can it improve your service to your customers? How does that improve your customer experience? Okay, because that's the true benefit around AI. So what we do is it's a true cloud communication. So anytime, anywhere, any device, any form of channel. So we don't care whether you're using PCs. We don't care whether you're using Android devices or iOS or Apple phones. It makes no difference to us. We are truly agnostic to that network that you are using. It's an all-in-one piece. So our UC and CC, it's on the same platform. And I'll show you this live when I do a demo for you. But it means you don't have to then go off to other applications or open up other pages or websites to action transactions. It's all on a single pane of glass, as we like to call it. I mentioned earlier about the network. What do we connect into? So Elevate is in fact its own platform. It's coded by us. All of the applications that I'm going to show you today are all ours. We're not third party in anything. And the advantage of that for us is that we can drive the development forward. Okay, so part of that is the integration into things like Microsoft Teams. Love it or hate it, Microsoft Teams is here, and it's a good product. And lots of people, unfortunate event with COVID, lots of people were deploying Microsoft Teams as part of that solution. Well, we don't have to compete against it. What we actually do is we complement it. So if you're already a Microsoft Teams house and you're using the chat and you're using the video, we can actually embed our voice solution into the Microsoft Teams. So for you as an experience, if you're using Microsoft Teams, it stays the same. But what you can do then is leverage our telephony functions and features, like, you know, contact center home groups, the call-in packages. You can leverage that and complement that service that you've already got. All right. So AI, we're doing an awful lot of work in AI, and the key thing here is making sure that AI works for you. It improves your service. It's a benefit to you. So we're doing things like automation, insights, you know, that ability that maybe if you're taking a call and the customer is asking you a lot of questions, that ability for it to prompt you to say, have you thought about this? Or here is our web pages, or, you know, this is our latest promotion, and it will prompt you. All right, so that's the sort of thing where AI can assist. It will also assist on things like archiving and data. So we don't just do call recording, we do what's called archiving. And archiving will be able to translate all of your calls, all of your video, and all of your chats. And what it will do, it will correlate that into an information piece. And again, I will show you this as part of the demo, but it's your data, it's your information. So it's almost like protect and serve, right? So, you know, if someone had questioned, you know, you said this or I said that, you can literally go back to the call recording and you pick that up. But because with archiving, we can leverage that to not only the call, but we could do it via the voice or a video as well. Okay. And then it's an open platform. Okay, we have what's called APIs. APIs are just connectivities, if you like, into other things like CRMs, so Salesforce, Zendesk. If you're using a customer relation manager, we can connect into those. The advantage of that, again, is to improve your customer experience. So when an inbound call comes in, it pops up your CRM and it will have whatever you want. So it could be the last transaction, it could be the last ticket number, it could be whatever you want. So we're an open platform, so we can connect pretty much 95% into any other application. So there's a couple of other things that we're doing that we're wrapping around, things like agent assist. So that ability that on that contact center piece, that if an agent's available, it could be prompted, you can do things. We have what's called 5 nines reliability. So 5 nines is an industry standard, and it basically means the uptime of your solution. So 5 nines in effect will give you a downtime of, well, it's actually 5 minutes, 16 seconds for a year. Okay, and then if it goes 4 nines, 3 nines, 2 nines, it decreases. So the difference between 5 nines, which is like 5 minutes, to 4 nines, which is 52 minutes. So it's that correlation of uptime of all of that solution. So I mentioned earlier about that we can deploy against any solution about anything that we're doing. And that is absolutely true. We don't mind whether you're using mobile devices, you can use soft phone applications, which I'll show you, you can use physical phones. We don't mind, you can correlate between all three. We don't charge you anything extra. So if you want to use it as a physical handset and you want that same application on your mobile device, that's absolutely fine. You can cross over and you get the same productivity, inbound calls, answering, joining, leaving hunt groups, you know, chat, joining a video call. It's exactly the same. The media is the same. And this is the important one. We can also do that within Microsoft Teams. So the key thing here is that we are embedded within that Microsoft Teams piece. So down here, you would recognize this as your standard Microsoft Teams, where you've got your activity, your chat, and you will continue to use that for your video and for your chat. But here you have the embedded application that says Unite for Teams or Elevate for Teams. That is what's going to give you your voice telephony services. And again, I'll show you that in a minute. one of the other things that we're doing, it's about correlating all of that information because it's your information. It's that ability that if I was a loaded question to ask you, do you know how many calls you take a day? Do you know how many calls you miss a day? Do you know when you miss these calls? It's all about collating that data and making it ease of use for you then to make an informed decision or choice. So it could be a case of, you're losing lots of calls at lunchtime. And the reason is because everyone's gone to lunch. So again, very simplistic, but it's surprising the amount of people that don't actually know how many calls they're missing. And if you're in a sales type environment or if you're offering support, it's important to know that. Before I show you actually working, I just wanted to recap. So 7 reasons why you would use Elevate as telephony. So that single pane of glass, that one application that will support all of that telephony applications. Real cost savings because you can bundle in everything. So the cost of the telephony users included as part of your minutes and as part of your bundle for your calls, for your local, for your national calls, etc. It's predictable value. It's worked out as a recurring monthly cost. Okay, so you know what you're buying into the cost of the licenses. We use AI that's improving every day to improve that customer experience feeling. The reliability of 5 nines, that industry standard measurable reliability of the solution, that integration into other applications and that's important because today you may be working in a way where we're working into, say, Salesforce as our CRM, but tomorrow you might be using something else. Or you might not be using a CRM today at all, but tomorrow, the company has grown and now you've got that position to be able to use it. And finally, that sort of like security, that archiving, that compliance piece, being able to go through that data to understand or look at call recordings if there was an issue, or that, you could, if you were a supervisor or manager, you could look at those archives and see what that sentiment is. Was it a good call? Was it a bad call? Do I need to intervene? Okay, so hopefully you can still see my screen, which should be advantageous. Now, I might look slightly to the left because I've got you on multiple screens. But basically, we were saying about that Elevate solution, and it's all on a single pane of glass. So this is it. This is the UI, and down this left-hand side, we have got all your functions and key attributes. So I'm not going to go too much into really deep detail, but what it will allow you to do is, for example, contact center. So the contact center, that ability to be able to route a call to the most appropriately skilled person to be able to transact it. And we can do that. This is full blown. So you can use, whether it's a voice call, whether it's a chat, whether it's a web, whether it's email, we can correlate those actions and monitor them to the most skilled person. Okay, with this, it sits as the portal. It's built on roles and permissions. If you have that access, you would literally click on here, join as an agent, and then you will be joining that queue. Very quick, very simple, and very easy to use. We have the chat. You've all used chat. I don't think I need to go too much into detail for chat, but basically what you have chat, it gives you that ability to send a message. You can send it to individual people. You can send it to groups of people. So that same chat. The difference is if it's a person, it's a little round circle. If it's a group, it's a square with the edges cut off. You can send documents. You can just drag and drop documents into it. You can send GIFs, images, chat, etc., etc. Very simple. I'm sure you've all used it before, but it's very good. And you can do this across multiple devices as well. So whether you're in the office or on your mobile, it's all the same. We have a video, which is called Video Meetings. So very similar to what you're using on Teams. Again, there's a plethora out there, but we have one inbuilt. So if don't want to be, or you're not using Microsoft Teams, you can use ours. It's embedded within the solution. It's not charging you anymore. And you can schedule through Outlook, you can schedule through Google calendars, you can do all of that, and it will be a video session, which you can then use what's called transcription and record. So at the end of a video session, it will have the full, you can record it, so you can send it on to people. It will transcribe it, so it have all of that information, and it will summarize it. So if you just wanted that top piece to say this, for example, today we're doing it on Teams, but if it would be a summary of saying this was a webinar presentation where we showed Elevate and the benefits of Qlic IT, etc., etc., etc. Okay. We can do something called file sharing. It's embedded within the solution. Again, if you want to use it, you can. If you're in a Microsoft world, think of it as like OneDrive or SharePoint. Okay, it's that ability to store data that you can then share, work together, keep separate versions. You can dial into it from anywhere. It's secure on the AWS server. And again, you can work together, sharing documents, annotating together real time. Okay, so that's embedded as well. Call history. Literally call history. It is how many calls that you've come through, whether you've made them as an outbound or whether you've made them as an inbound. It's interactive. We were saying this is a UCaaS solution, a unified comms. And because you're collaborating, you can do things. So if it recognizes the name and number, it will put your little name and up there. And if I want to ring it back, I can literally just click the to dial and you will ring them back. It's very quick. Very simple. You've got some other features that you can block numbers. So if, say, for example, it's that sales line, that classic, hello, it's BT about your broadband, send, you know, and it's, no, you're not from BT, you know, we can sort of like, you can literally call block that as an application. It's also got voicemail. Now, the advantage of voicemail is everyone gets a voicemail. And you can do different things with it. So you can play it, you can listen to it. You can look at the transcription of it. So if you had multiple calls, so if, say, for example, I'm working with Neel on a project, he's left me multiple voicemails, I can quickly look at that to say, well, which is the one that I'm dealing with at the moment about Project X? I can quickly look at my voicemails, quickly look at the transcription, see this is the one that reference Project X. I can then play it, listen to it, do whatever I want to do with it. Okay. And then believe it or not, what you can also do is you can make calls on this as well. So this is the soft phone version. You get this as part of it. You could do this via your physical device. You can do it via a soft phone. You can via a mobile phone. It makes no difference. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. If you actually look at this screen, what we have is presence and availability. So I can look at everything. So these are all the calls on the demo system. This is for everything, for users, for speed calls, for company contacts, for everything. I can highlight them into teams. So I don't want to see the whole thing. What I want to do is just look at teams. So these are the people that I ring, you know, more frequently. So I can do that. But I can even then put them into teams. So I don't even want to look at that. I just want to look at the sales team. So I can click and you can create multiple groups. It's just a drop down. You can create multiples. And in this instance, it's a sales team. So it empowers me with presence and availability. I can see that Gersh, she's red, means she's busy, and it flags it as busy. I can see Steve is green and he's available. So it means he's available to take a call. And I could do one or two things. I could send him a chat. I could call him and I could escalate a voice call into a video call if I so wish. Okay, so that true collaboration, allowing you to choose the media that suits you the best. Okay, we can just look at the Elevate users rather than all the company contacts. I can look at just company contacts. So think of these as speed calls, you know, for people, and I can look at personal contacts. So personal contacts are just me. They're just my numbers. Okay, no one else in the group is going to see those. Okay, company contacts, everyone can see. All right. Simple as that. If I want to ring someone, you can literally just, you know, highlight, click, dial the number, and it will ring them, whether that's internal or external. I can dial the number in here. I can punch in a number, 234, whatever it may be. Or I could dial the number, you know, just using that keypad. Okay, so it's very slick, very easy to use. And that application is whether you're using it on a physical phone, whether you're using it on a soft device like this, or whether you use it on a mobile device of your choice. Okay, so it gives you that choice. It gives you that flexibility. That's how you would use the system. There's some user instances here under your little avatar. You can click on that. You can change your presence and availability. It will then route accordingly to whatever that may be. I can sync that to my calendar if I so wish. So whatever my calendar says, that's what I will then link into. Okay. You can do things like call settings. You can change your CLI number. So for example, it's very quick, very easy to use. If I didn't want my own DDI number to go out, I could just change that as my call-in ID to my company number. Rule of thumb is the number has to exist on the system. So you could not fake it to say it's I don't know, HMRC, for example. The number has to reside within the system. You can do things like call forwarding, diverts, and you can set as many diverts up as you like. And then as example, give you a quick example of how quick and easy it is. You can create however many profiles you like. You just create a new profile, and if you then want to make it active, you literally just click the button to make it active. It's as simple as that. Okay. When you're creating these diverts, you can then break that down to whatever you like. So whether you want it for internal calls, external calls, and what's the numbers that you want it to go to. Okay. If it goes to a voicemail, you can send it to a voicemail. I can then send a notification that someone has left me a voicemail, and it will go into my email inbox if I wish. It's entirely up to you. So some of the other things that we can look at. So that's from that user perspective. I was mentioning about archiving. And what I've done, I've actually created one with Tony yesterday because I wanted to show you a good and bad using AI and sentiment as a view to be able to look at call recordings. So as an example, when it comes up. So all of these are basically call recordings, okay? What I can do though, I can look at a person, or I can look at a type. So I could say, look, I'm only interested in chat messages. So I can look at chats. So this is group chats, okay? I could look at direct chats. So just, chats just to me. I can look at search for keywords. I can look at date. I can look at people. I can look at whether they're incoming or outgoing or change or whatever it may be. Okay. So if I open it up, it's cool as well. So this was a test that I made. It was created just to give us that sentiment and analysis. So here you can see Kane Group is one of our fictitious companies that we use and pretend. What we'll do, it will show you that's a call. I can play the call. I can look at the transcription. I can look at the summary. So this is just picking up the call summary here. It was a call regarding Kane Group and Paul intermediate charges, etc., etc. But the key thing is here is this green sentiment. So I know that that was a positive call. That call was picked up. It listens in fact, to the conversation in effect, and it said this was a good call. Hence it's green. If it was a bad call, it would be red and a little angry face. That then allows you to review, if you so wish. You could then review these calls, you could review those transactions, and then again, you can make an informed choice. Now, this is just on a historical call, okay? But what you can do though, in the world of that contact center, you can do that real time. So you could have a contact center person. I'm going to call them an agent, but you could have an agent on a call. The call's going a little bit peaked on, it's going a bit southbound. Maybe the customer's getting very frustrated. You can then announce that in effect to a supervisor. Supervisor could then listen in or whisper, and you could silently coach that person, say, have you spoke to him about this, or have you spoke to that? Or he could actually barge into that call and take ownership of that call if he likes. Now that's using AI with real time. So that the customer experience is where that's being driven around, about how we would then take control and change that narrative. So hopefully that inbound caller will go from an angry call to a more resolved call in which it would be green. The other thing that I will show you is basically just things like reporting and analytics. It's the last thing I sort of like really want to show you, but it's very good. It is incredibly powerful. So I'm just going to look at, there are many sort of like types of reports that you can look at. I'm just going to look at this one. I will just very quickly just do it for last month, run the report. So this is just a historical report. You have access to this. There's no extra costs. It's all there. You can run reports. You can go in more detail. You can schedule reports, etc., etc. But what this one, hopefully any second, it's just going to do a screen snapshot of our demo system in this instance. So it would tell me how many calls you got, how many were answered, unanswered, what our service level is if we put in a service level. It will give us that breakdown of answered and unanswered calls. It will show you, how many inbound, how many outbound, who made the most calls into the biggest, hunt groups or people. And it's interactive, so you can go deeper. So you could sort of like say, well, I'm only interested in group calls. So I'm only interested in the inbound sales line or support line. whatever it may be. And again, you can look at it. So looking at here, I mean, you wouldn't look at these as our SLAs because they'd be pretty bad, but you've got to bear in mind this is a DEM system. Okay, and I can look at this and I can see who's answered the most calls, who's took the least calls, etc., etc.
Everyone found it very informative, and I hope to see. Like I said, my colleague Ray has put the booking link. If it's of interest to you, please get in touch. It'd be great to reach out and obviously go over on how Qlic can support you and your business. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you joining us today. Thanks, Tony.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you, Ray. Hope you all have a lovely day.